Ian,
Yes.
we just passed the 30th anniversary of a historic game. One of the most important games ever. One of them. It was November 21st, 1990. Super Mario World came out on the Super Famicom
That's right.
in Japan. Originally Super Mario Brothers 4.
Was it originally Super
Yeah,
Mario
you
Brothers
see some
4?
of those title screens, the early title
Oh,
screens.
yeah,
of Super
yeah,
Mario
yeah,
4 Before. So we're covering this because we're not covering the 30th anniversary of the Super Famicom because we didn't grow up with the Super Famicom, and we're not going to do, we're going to do it next year for the Super Nintendo 30th anniversary. But we figure Super Mario World is such an important game for a lot of reasons. Groundbreaking 16-bit game in terms of the look, style, feel. It basically reestablished, 16-bit platformers. It set the new bar, so to speak.
Right.
In terms of not just the quality of the game, but the breadth of it. I was trying to think of another game of that period that wasn't a Mario game that would rival Super Mario World in terms of not just the quality of the game, but the breadth and the world building that Super Mario World accomplished. And I couldn't off the top of my head come up with a simple one that sort of got into the ballpark of that. Obviously, this was going to be the killer app for the Super Nintendo, and it basically was when it came out. There wasn't something. I mean, you had Sonic the Hedgehog, yes, but that was not in the realm of Super Mario World in terms of, well, this is the one game that you need to have on the console. I think to that same extent. Obviously, honestly, Sonic sold well. Not going to deny that, but that's not the complexity of this game. It absolutely is not. In terms of what this game had going on, in terms of platform mechanics, power-ups, the variety of worlds in this game, the switch block mechanics, the huge sprites on some of the villains and how they were quirky as well. Yoshi being added to the game where you hop on the character and ride him around and having different powers. There's a lot to unpack in Super Mario World.
Lots and lots of secrets. The Star
Lots
World.
of secrets. Star World. Completing stages in different ways to unlock different pathways for warps. I mean, to a lot of people, well, maybe to my experience, this is obviously the peak of the 2D Mario game. How could you do much better than this?
The argument always seems to come down between 3 and World. I err on the side of 3. I just really, really like 3. But World is fantastic. World, I had the Genesis growing up, and my friend Kevin had the Super Nintendo growing up. And in all honesty, I was never particularly jealous of the Super Nintendo except for Super Mario World. The only game that he ever had that made me want to go out and get a Super Nintendo was Super Mario World. From the day he bought that they got that Super Nintendo for Christmas until, I don't know, probably when I graduated high school and stopped talking to him, I would constantly fire up that Super Nintendo and play Super Mario World. I loved it. And that's why I think I like 3 better. If I had grown up with 3 and World, I think I would err on the side of 3. But World always had that little bit of mystique to me because I didn't own it. I never owned it growing up, and it wasn't until much, much later in life that I actually went through it and uncovered all of its secrets and discovered everything that it had to,
Get that 96, get the 96 star.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a hell of an experience. I mean, it's a great game. It's one of the few times where I actually do really like the Super Nintendo sound chip. I think the Super Nintendo sound chip is great for many RPGs, but the sound effects and just the background music in
the
Super
Caribbean
Mario
drum
World,
sounds and things like that
stuck
are
in my head.
It's fantastic.
Yep, love it.
The ragtime piano music,
Bloop, 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 yep.
like you can't do that stuff on the Genesis. You just can't. You can't get close to it. And I remember getting it. I got this. I got it for Christmas that year, so I didn't get it in August '91. I got it in December of that. I went through the manual and I was like looking at the mechanics for. There's a whole 2-page whatever spread on the cape mechanics, because you can do multiple things. You can fly. You can spin with the cape. You can do the spin attack. You can land softly on your belly and knock out enemies. You can do the basically the earthquake attack when you go straight down. like dive bomb and come back up. It's like it was almost intimidating looking at the manual at the time. It was like,
Sure.
and I'm just throwing fireballs because I had played 3 before. Obviously, it's like, you get the frog suit, which is cool, Hammer Brothers suit, and you're throwing fireballs. It changed how you can play a platformer, getting the cape, because now you can design the stages where you can go up and do things up there or down, depending upon what power up you get, and that to me was a game changer because up to that point in a lot of these games, there wasn't a lot of power-ups that really could change how you can navigate the stages to that extent before this game. And so that to me sort of was an important point that this game sort of unlocked for other video games probably going forward. I don't remember another game that quite did it like this. Hell, you want to skip a stage? You can skip a stage basically and fly over it if you had gotten that power-up. Or like the some where, remember you figure out one of the hardest ones in the game, alternate levels where you have to fly underneath the stage and come back up to get that special like these are advanced play mechanics via the power up in order to unlock certain things. And there's a bunch of others. One of the ghost houses where you have to fly up with the cape and with a key or whatever to do it. So there's some cool things that the cape itself unlocked in the game.
The ghost houses themselves, I think, do warrant special mention as.
Oh, ghost houses are fantastic.
There's lots of neat ways to navigate the levels in Mario 3 with the leaf and stuff like that. You can get the P-wing and fly over the levels. There are some under the level secrets in Mario 3 as well. But the mystery houses, levels that entirely revolve around using the same mechanics that are used to hide secrets, but now you have to do it to get out of to just beat the level. I think it's neat because it teaches you out in the open how the game is going to hide stuff from you the rest of the game. So you start looking at all the other levels differently. You're like, well, maybe if I do try that, it's going to lead me to something neat. And sure enough, you can find secrets.
Yeah, greater variety of villains. Obviously, you got the football guy. You got the not just the small moles. You got the giant moles. You got the gigantic bullet bills. I don't know they're called something different. The gigantic ones.
Oh, Bubba Bills
or something. But
Bullet Bubba. You
have obviously
Large James.
The Super Koopas are adorable when their little capes flying.
Yeah, they're cute.
And like I said, it created a much larger world than even Super Mario 3. And the other reason I like it on a narrative standpoint, it's a direct sequel to Super Mario 3. It's one of those rare occurrences where it's a direct sequel of a Mario game where it literally comes right afterwards. They're on vacation, just hanging out after Super Mario 3. Hey, we just saved the princess. And she's getting kidnapped again, but they're relaxing. And what is it, Dinosaur Land, wherever they're hanging out, and it's just a cute thing.
Bonsai Bill.
It's called a Bonsai Bill. Okay. The Mode 7 stuff is great. The first time you saw the commercial, and you saw Mario climbing the fence, you're like, holy shit, that's like 3D.
And then you can flip behind
it
the
around
fence.
it and then punch them off.
And sprites overlaying each other with it. Yeah, it's great.
That's like, wow. That's we're doing something different. The comedy in the game is on point with not just the characters. You destroy each castle in a different way, which is always humorous. Try to blow it up and it doesn't blow up. Or you try to kick it over, or you wipe it out with like a mop or eraser or whatever. One of them. There was just an ingenious amount of touches in Super Mario World where it's like, nah, they could have just maybe kind of phoned it in and just did a Super Mario 3 sequel but upgraded the graphics. Like, no, this was to me a step above that, and that's why I always prefer this to Super Mario 3. And then people love Yoshi. Who doesn't love Yoshi?
Trying to find a. No, I'm just looking up Bullet Bill fun facts.
Bullet Bill fun facts? Yeah. Don't look up Meredith Baxter Burney. We're talking about Super Mario World.
I never had it for Meredith Baxter Burney. Fun facts.
So anything else to add to Super Mario World? I mean, probably could talk more about it. We covered the audio, covered the visuals on it. Being able to hold a power up, obviously for the first time, was fantastic, and having it drop in, from above, so that was good. So you can swap out, and do like a whole swap trick. If you drop one, get another one, and get the other one to hold. Lots of the one thing I'd say that I missed from Super Mario 3. I missed like the little toad houses and the things like that. Not that it needed, but that was missed.
There were things that were taken away from the game that did not make sense to me, and I think that's why, while it doesn't make one necessarily better or worse, they're different enough for me to think that both 3 and World hold up on their own merits.
Yeah, because it's so easy to get power ups and extra lives. When I played through it, I played through it. When was the last time I played through it? When I was doing the Super Nintendo book, I reviewed All Stars. I played through Super Mario World in its entirety and all the All Star games. It's so easy to get extra lives if you're a decent player. I had like 25 lives, like after like the second world or third world. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they got rid of that stuff, because it's not difficult at all to get more lives or to get things like that, which makes sense. Because remember, and you're rushing through these stages. You're getting the whatever dragon coin count and things like that, and so you get to 100 pretty damn quickly at the end of each stage on the bar that goes up and down and things like that. So yeah, it's been re-released a billion times. We know that. You had the special Super Mario All Stars Plus Mario World Pack-In Edition that came out in the later ages of the Super Nintendo, a few years in, more middle age there, and it's been remade. Was it Game Boy Advance? And then it's been out every system since their Virtual Console. And it's one of those games that's going to go down in history. I don't know what Game of the Year awards it won, but it probably was up there. I'm trying to look. Okay, reception. Yeah, it was getting 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 34 out of 40 from Famitsu. That's a weird scale, but okay.
It's 4 reviewers out of 10.
4 reviewers?
4 reviewers do 10 out of 10.
Oh, 10 out of 10. Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting system.
That's how they've always done it. Yeah.
5 out of 5 from US Gamer. Kotaku 10 out of 10. Superplay 94%. GameSpot 8.5 on the Wii. Come on, GameSpot. It's a little low. IGN 9.3 in the Game Boy Advance, but then 8.5 out of 10 on the Wii. What, I don't understand how you grade it lower. It's the same game. EGM 9 out of 10 at the time, probably back then. So there you have it. There. It would have been a Game of the Year, at least on a console if they had those video game awards back then. So here's to you, Super Mario World. We'll see you in 30 years on the podcast when we're getting Social Security.